Hey everybody, we're going to do something fun and we're going to talk about some tips for the Disney Wish. In this one, we're going to talk about some of the best things to do on the boat when you have a bigger kid or bigger kids. Not like toddlers, not babies, but bigger kids. Kids who can like adventure.
9 to 13 or 8 to 12 or whatever.
I'd say like 8 to 12 maybe. Like younger than the like tween and teen clubs, but like bigger than the nursery, right?
Well, the nursery only goes to like age 1.
Okay. Anyways, bigger kids. We have a 9-year-old, so that's what's important to say. So we're going to talk about, we've been on the Wish 2 times now. And the first time our daughter was 7. This time she was 9. Mm-hmm. I would say at 9 it was a little different than 7, but a lot of overlap. Anyways, these are going to be like kind of our top things to do on the Wish with a kid in that age.
Yeah.
What would be your first one, you would say?
My first what?
Like, best thing to do with a kid, our kid's age, on the Wish.
On the actual boat?
Mm-hmm. Castaway Case can be another video. Stay tuned for that one. Do you want me to go first?
Maybe you go first.
Aquamouse.
Oh, yeah. I got nervous. I was like, I don't know.
What
What's
do you
my
think
name?
about Aquamouse?
I love Aquamouse.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's for any age. Except, well, maybe not too little, actually.
True.
But I think that...
Kids much littler than our kid are going on it, but at her age, Aquamouse is like the jam.
Yeah, I think specifically for the age group, 8 to 12, Aquamouse is top of the list. Definitely do it. I would recommend going there like first thing in the morning, like
When
eating breakfast and then getting there right when it opens. It opens at 9 o'clock. And so if you're one of the first people in line, it's a much shorter wait. Mm-hmm. But it's usually just around, it's between like 10 and 20 minutes, I would say, the wait time. So if you're thinking about like going to the parks, a 10 to 20 minute wait time, let's call it 15. Let's just meet in the middle. A 15-minute wait time isn't that long. But I've never really seen it longer than 20 minutes.
Unless it shuts down, which happens a lot.
I was going to say, the only time I know people have waited like 45 minutes or like an hour is if the ride has broken down and they voluntarily do not get out of the line. Then you can wait a little bit longer. And it does break down a lot. That's just a fact. Yep. It's not mean.
Usually they'll come on the speaker too and they'll say like, we'll have it back on in like 20 minutes or something. So you can kind of choose whether you want to stay in line and keep your spot or leave and come back. We've done both. Some of the times when we've stayed in line, it's broken down again before we reached the front. And so we've been like, all right, we're over this.
But it's definitely worth it. Like even when you get in line, like just kind of have the expectation, like it might break down. And if it doesn't, then the line is actually not that long. It's about 15 minutes. Again, like I don't know. It might be different for you. But
also like kids this age really want to be up on that deck and like swimming in the pools and stuff anyways. So one thing you can do is just kind of be like ready in swimsuits and like have your kids swimming in the little pools. And if you notice that line gets short, get up there. But if it's really long and it's like sunny on the deck, it's kind of not worth going and standing
If you have a clip of this, you should put this in because there is like a staircase to get up to Aquamouse. So if there is like, if there's like 5 people on that staircase, then the wait's about like 15, 20 minutes. So if you see a couple of people on that staircase.
Or like up at the top.
Or like just up at the top. So that's actually where they put you into the line queue. So if you see people on that staircase, don't be deterred by the amount of people. Just think like, okay, those people are about to talk to like the attendant where they're like, how many in your party to go into the line. And the line, I would say, is like 15, 20 minutes. So it's not a huge wait, but definitely do it. Like definitely that's number 1. And if it does break down and you decide to not wait and you leave, just please go back again because it's like the best thing to do on the boat. It's so much fun.
Yes. All right. So at the expense of this video almost becoming all about Aquamouse, we're going to pivot.
So much fun.
What would be your next highest thing to do with a kid our age?
I think the movie theaters are really cool. Yes. I think there's 2. There's the Wonderland Cinema and the Neverland Cinema. Mm-hmm. And they're both really fun because it is like such a beautiful theater. They're pretty big and the seats are really comfortable and you can buy popcorn, you can take it in, you can buy drinks or bring your drink from anywhere else on the boat and bring it inside.
I don't know how like supposed to do this you are, but we've like brought plates of food down there from the buffet or the pizza and stuff. Yeah, we've done that before. In the main theater where they do the shows at night,
Yeah.
don't do that.
You can't even like bring your phone in there.
But in
like,
the
don't film
but in the movie theaters where they're just playing movies, we've totally brought food in.
I don't remember that.
Not this trip, but the first one, and on the ship we did out of San Diego, we did that. Remember?
I don't remember that.
We watched Black Panther and we ate food.
Like candy or like a plate?
A plate of food. Anyway, I don't
Try
know
it. See what happens. They might ask you
to
to leave it, then who knows? There's not really, I would say, in the movie theaters specifically, I wouldn't say they're like unsupervised by any means, but there's not really people that like work there watching too much.
Not like when there's a show going on in the main theater.
Similar to a regular movie theater, actually. Like I think when the show is starting, they're like kind of not, like they're there to like escort you a little bit, but for the most part, it's pretty like go at your own pace.
And those theaters are playing like the most recent Disney releases, some of which are still in theaters on shore, which is fun because it's like, it's not free because you paid to get on the cruise, but kind of for free. You're in there watching. Like while we were on this cruise, it was Inside Out 2 because that was what was still in theaters. And they were playing that like several times a day along with...
They play other movies too. So like they played Inside Out 2 because that was the newest one. But then they'll play like other ones. So definitely look at the movie schedule and then think like which one do you want to go to? Because it's totally, totally fun. And they're all throughout the day. Yep. There's not always a movie playing, but there's tons of showtimes throughout the day.
Even pretty late, like the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was what was playing kind of like more for adults. And they were doing showings at like 10:30 or 11 start time in the evening. So
definitely a lot of nightlife on the boat, but it's all very like Disney and wholesome.
Speaking of which, one of the things that's the top of my list is like nightlife on the boat for kids. Is they actually have, so there's like a whole itinerary of shows you can watch. And we'll talk about some of those when we do like stuff for adults to do video. That'll be another one we'll do. But I took Lila to a show one of the nights when you were not feeling well. And it was like kids and parents doing like questions back and forth on stage. They picked a couple of kid and parent couples and had them like answering questions about each other and using a whiteboard and like seeing how
super
correct
fun.
they were. And Lila loved that. Like it was super fun.
For that age group of like 8 to 12, it was very engaging. But then there's also, I think that's the only night it was like family. The other 2 nights it was more, or was it just that specific show?
So I think there were show times of kid related things most evenings.
Okay.
They stopped a little later, but if you're like shortly after your dinner time, you want to go do something, then that's an option.
Yeah, really, really fun. Like that's something that I feel like is not hyped up enough, or if it is, we're not hearing about it because that was so much fun. And we had fun going just the 2 of us, and then he had fun taking her, and everybody looks like they're having a really great time. And the space is really beautiful. It's called the Luna Lounge. And so look at the itinerary.
But there's other lounges too. Like even in Triton Lounge, there were times where they were doing like drawing things.
Yeah,
that
they
were
were
for
doing
kids.
like, just like how they do in Disney's California Adventure Park. They had like, where you can like learn how to draw different characters. They had that in Triton's Lounge. And so that's also really fun for the different age groups, or for the age group we're talking about. Because they're at the age where drawing is fun.
And it's interactive.
Yep. And it's a little bit more intimate. I would say even as like being the parent there with them, it's pretty fun. And I think if you have like older kids, if your kids are like 11, 12 or past that, there were definitely little clusters of children like running around the boat by themselves, because where are they going to go? You're in the middle of the ocean. You can't lose them.
Yep.
So I think that that's really fun too if you have like older kids, or if you have a couple of kids, or if you like bring a friend. I think that even just letting them know like, okay, you can go to the drawing by yourself. Like
the
they think
activities
that's so
available
cool.
to you. Yeah.
Definitely not like the younger kids. I don't even think that's like allowed. But the older end of kids, like 11, 12, obviously if you have a teenager, they can do whatever, they can run around. But the tweens, I think a little bit of responsibility, or like having that responsibility of like, okay, after dinner we're gonna go like take an hour to go do something.
Right.
They think that's so cool.
Which also almost always for the kids our child's age, there's the Oceaneers Club going on. Yeah. And the Oceaneers Club has its own schedule of events happening within it. So there's like all kinds of activities happening there, but we aren't in there with our kid. So that's a different thing.
But you can see that on the Disney Cruise Line app. And then it's kind of a bummer because you actually can't see the itinerary of the Disney Cruise Line app until you get onto the boat's Wi-Fi. So you can't really plan too much until you're there. But
which would be why you'd want to watch a video like this.
So that you know kind of like what to look for.
Yeah.
That's true. We watched a lot of videos before we went, and we've already been before. And even then we're like, we should
Yep.
We should like learn as much as we can before we go, kind of just to make the most of it, because it's super fun to like lay in a lounge chair and just like relax and like eat a bunch of food. Like,
yeah, something important to remember too is like there's way more happening almost at all times on the ship than you can possibly do.
Yeah.
So if you get like analysis paralysis and it's really hard for you to like pick which thing to do, that can be really tough. But honestly, like every option we picked this cruise and the last time on the Wish ended up being fun.
Yeah.
Some things more than others, naturally, but like they're kind of all winners because the Disney staff who are running each of the kid things are super like kid friendly and on it, obviously. And it's a party everywhere. So there's like, there's a lot of variety of things.
I think like picking, I think a great way to start, especially if it's your first cruise or if it's your first time on a specific boat, and you still want that vacation element, like you don't want to like go on the boat and feel exhausted by the end of the day because you did everything. I think picking like 1-2 things a day and saying like, okay, we're gonna get there on time for this, or we're gonna make this like a priority in our day, and then still having all that extra day to relax and like lay by the pool and go swimming and read your book and take a nap and like eat and have soft serve. I think it's really like you're gonna feel like you missed out if you did nothing, but you're gonna feel really like overwhelmed and tired if you tried to do it all.
You'll need a vacation after your vacation if you try too much.
Even if it's like a movie, like that's a long activity, and even though you're like sitting and resting, like you're on a boat and you're like on vacation, and so that definitely counts. And you can say like, okay, like on the first day we watched a movie and that was super cool, and then on the next day we did something for the family at Luna Lounge. Oh, the silent disco.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's our daughter's favorite. Both when we went on 2 cruises when she was 7, and we didn't do it on the first cruise. We only did it on the second cruise. She found the silent disco and she loved it. And then on this cruise, he took her after the Luna Lounge to do the silent disco.
And it was like so much highlight of a trip for her. Like literally probably her favorite thing, like her biggest memory from each of these 2 cruises where she's done it has been that night of doing silent disco. They've got a DJ, they have headphones, there's 3 different channels on it, so you can be switching between different songs.
Yeah.
You can change your own volume, but you literally get this cool pair of headphones that lights up a different color based on what channel you're on, so you can see if you're the same channel as other people, and you just like dance. And we did it for a whole hour uninterrupted on this cruise, and it was like
so fun.
Super fun for her, super fun for me.
And here it's so it's in a different place. On the Wonder, it was in like a lounge, and so they didn't have like a show or an activity or trivia or anything. They had like silent disco inside the lounge. This one we actually didn't know. We only knew because of the other boat about the silent disco, but the first time we went on the Wish, we didn't know what the silent disco was. We missed it all together. It's in the Hero Lounge. Hero Zone. It's up. It's in like the gymnasium where they have all the foosball tables and the ping pong.
Which,
and the
if you have a kid this age,
course.
You should know that spot as a hot spot for kids this age too.
I think the first time we went, we knew it was there, but we thought it was like kind of like a part of a teen club. At least I did. That was my impression.
It's near the teen clubs, yeah.
It is near the teen clubs, and the teens do a lot of activities there, and they close it intermittently throughout the day for like teen activities, but it'll tell you on the app.
Yeah.
It won't be like
there's
it won't
also
be a surprise.
Younger kid activities too, because they do the whole inflatable obstacle course, which Lila loves. There's foosball tables, ping pong tables, shuffleboard, and then just like space to play.
I think on the first cruise, I genuinely thought like, oh, this is open right now to the public, but it's usually closed. And it's the opposite. It's actually just only closed like for one activity
Sometimes
a day
they'll do
or
a teen
something
activity
like that.
for an hour or 2, but other than that, it's fair game.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and it's
we spent a lot of time in there this
beautiful.
time.
Yeah. It's really, really fun. Even if like that age group especially has a lot of energy, and it's nice to have like this big, it's 2 stories and it's really big, and there's a lot of different things to do. And you can even bring like your own games if you like a card game or whatever. There's like tons of places to sit, and it's really beautiful. And there's a beautiful view of the ocean as well.
I think there's times they even like play basketball in there because it's a basketball court.
That'll probably be in the Disney Cruise Line app.
Anyway, so that's rad. That's where the silent disco silent dance party thing takes place. Another thing that I think we should specifically mention is, so this kind of goes like 2 directions. One, if you're doing a 3-night cruise like we did, you especially will not have time to do everything. But something that I would encourage you do every day on a 3-night cruise is the themed dinners at the restaurant you're supposed to go to.
On the 3-night cruise specifically.
If you're doing a longer cruise, like
sure,
do room service one of the nights or try one of the different restaurants or whatever. But to miss any of the 3 restaurants that happen on the Wish would be a shame because they're all super different, super fun. Mm-hmm. It's rad. So like Lila specifically really looks forward to dinner every night because the restaurants are so fun, the entertainment is so fun, the menu is so good, and it's different each night.
Remembers you.
Yeah, you
it's
get
really special.
Your wait staff follows you from restaurant to restaurant, and they're like
so be nice to your wait staff because they'll follow you around.
All 3 cruises we've been on, we've had awesome wait staff, which leads me to believe they only hire good wait staff. But it's like they're super fun, super personable. Remember your drink order, even for the kids. Remember your preferences and just like handle everything.
First night, Lila ordered a Shirley Temple, and then they had a Shirley Temple waiting for her like every night after that. And it's so special. And then they'll even like make a note, like, we remembered you like Shirley Temple, so it's already here. But
if
then
you'd
they'll
like
ask
something
us,
else,
if you'd
let me
like
know.
something else, let me know.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a nice touch, especially like for anybody, but like especially for the kids. Like it makes them feel a little extra magic. Yeah. And it's something that is so simple.
Yeah. And the show at each, like, so if you're at the Roy or Walt Disney restaurants, it's just like fancy, nice dining. There's not like a show going on, but that's our favorite restaurant food-wise.
I will say, if you are somebody that doesn't want to go to dinner, then go to Roy or Walt Disney only. Like make that a priority because the food, that's like the best food on the whole boat that comes inclusive. Like if you go to like Ashante or Palo, like that's probably better. Yep. But if you have to go, if you're like, no, I don't want to skip dinner or I want to do my own thing, go to Roy or Walt Disney. You have to. It's so
the 1923
the food
restaurant
is
night.
So
gotta be there.
So good. Yeah. Order 2 entrees and 2 desserts and 2 appetizers.
Or just one of everything. It's awesome.
It's so
Which is part of
good.
the fun of it too, is like being a kid to be somewhere where you can just order like, I'm going to get 2 appetizers and I'm not sure which entree I'll like, so I'll get both and I'm going to get a dessert and I have a Shirley, like
splurge
you can go crazy.
At Roy or it's the same restaurant, but half of it's Roy Disney, half of it's Walt Disney.
It's called 1923.
It's called 19. That's what it is. It's called 1923. Yep. We should start calling it that because I feel like I'm always.
We've been at Roy both sides, so we keep calling it Roy Disney. Yeah. And then, anyways.
But it's really cool to look around. I think it's the most interesting one. It feels like the most like a restaurant. The other 2 feel like something's happening,
like a Disney experience. Yeah.
But this one feels the most like you're at a fancy restaurant.
There's no characters walking around. There's nothing you have to be looking at. You're just enjoying your meal with the party.
Kind of feels like you're in a restaurant inside the parks. Mm-hmm. It just feels like a very like fancy restaurant inside the parks. If this was in the parks, it would probably be like $60 a person or like $100 a person. Yeah. But the food is literally the best food on the whole boat that comes complimentary, in my opinion.
I would agree. Yeah. And Lila would too. Okay, so let me make sure I didn't miss anything. I wanted to talk dinners, Hero Club, shows. Let's talk about that next. Mm-hmm. Silent dancing, Aquamouse, and then we could talk about room service a little bit too. But let's talk about the shows because each night, so again, we did a 3-night cruise. If you're doing like a 7-night cruise, you can pace yourself so differently than we did on a 3-night cruise.
Yeah.
Because there's 3 shows and 3 restaurants and we had 3 nights.
So you have to do them all.
You have to like back to back your dinner and the show.
Well, you don't have to do anything. Like I think that if you have to pick one dinner, go to Roy or Walt Disney.
Right. But you're going to want to do all of them, especially if you have a kid in this age.
I think you should do all of them. But I just mean some people I know love dinner and some people are like, I don't want to go to dinner. And so I just know like that's like a very polarizing opinion.
If we were going to do another cruise on the Wish like next week, having just been, the things that I would like cut off that I'd only want to have done the one time we did them might be like 2 of the shows, frankly, for me. If you and Lila wanted to go, I'd go along. But like the Aladdin show, don't miss it. Yeah. The Aladdin show is.
Wait, let's talk about the shows because you're right. I think that there's definitely like, well, so like for example though, if you do have a kid and they're like obsessed with Frozen, then like don't miss the Frozen dinner. It will blow their mind. It's so cool.
Or if they love Marvel, then don't miss that.
Or if they like love Marvel, if they love Spider-Man or Ant-Man, or like don't miss that. But if you have a kid that's like a little bit older and they love like, you know, Disney and they love like being like, they think that the cruise is exciting, but they're not like super into either character, because that's possible, then I think 1923, they'll enjoy having like a fancy dinner, fancy family dinner.
And that's the best one to get really dressed up for. Most people are the least casual at that dinner, which is fun. So you take pictures together.
A lot of pictures that night for sure.
But the shows, so
oh yeah,
the first night is
the first night is a 30-minute show. The next 2 nights there's 60-minute shows. So the first night, and they're usually after dinner. You have like
the
a
first
small
one was
break.
fun. I'd see the first one again and be happy to do it, but I also wouldn't be like, I have to see that
It's
again.
not like a huge production. So there's 3 shows, and I think this is always the order on a 3-night cruise. The first night it's called like Welcome Aboard. I think that's actually the name of the show. It's like Welcome Aboard or something, and it's a 30-minute show, and you get to see all the characters. So that is really, really cool. And if it's your first cruise, definitely check it out. If you've seen shows like this before, it's not your first cruise, then it's up to you. Maybe watch a movie, maybe go to the Luna Lounge. There's tons to do. But if you have a little kid that loves any of the characters, they're guaranteed to see a character that they love. They have Mickey and friends, and then a bunch of princesses. Hercules. Yeah, that was a highlight for me, seeing Hercules. But you can't film in the shows, so you probably haven't seen a lot of footage about the shows. So it's also really exciting to get to see that firsthand.
I would say if it's your first cruise, watch all the shows.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's worth going. Regardless of the age of your kid, I think like Lila enjoyed all of them. I would bet if we went on another cruise right away, she'd probably want to see that first one again. She would definitely want to see Aladdin again.
And it's really short. The first one's like really short. I mean, it's half the length as the other one. And so it feels like kind of festive. Like, oh, we're going to go and see the show, but it's like kind of quick and you still have plenty of night left.
Yeah. But the second night was Little Mermaid, and
it was 60 minutes.
We knew we were going to watch it. We watched it.
Well, so they just changed it recently. They just changed it. It used to be like what you're thinking of, like the 90s classic
like
Little Mermaid, the animated classic. And so it used to be like that in a play form, but and this is what they said. They said they recently, within the past, like since the new Little Mermaid came out, so like maybe a year ago, they sort of reimagined the Little Mermaid. So I would say it's closer to the movie or the new movie, like the live action, the 2023 film, than the 90s film. Yeah. So not that that's like good or bad, but we're definitely way more sentimental towards like the 90s film. So they kind of like reimagined the new 2023 movie. So it's just a little bit like different
to an hour,
and it's condensed to an hour, and the music, it wasn't like the same melody of the songs that we loved. It was kind of like a different storyline. So
it was fine.
If your kids like The Little Mermaid, or if you love theater, like the show's amazing. But
they're all well done.
They were all really well done. But I would just say that to keep that in mind if you're picking, like, you don't want to do all the shows.
I'll say, as the dad, because I think this is okay to say, it would take some convincing to get me to go sit through that show again. Yeah, it's one thing if it's been like a year or two, then like, cool, we're on the cruise, we're going to do it, it's the thing we're going to do. But like, if I had to sit through that hour-long Little Mermaid again, and I actually really enjoy the original animated Little Mermaid. That's a great movie. But I found it like... there were other things happening on the ship at the same time that I would prefer to do. If we were like having dinner somewhere random and they're like, there's this performance of Little Mermaid, great, we'll watch that because there's nothing else going on. On the ship, there's so much happening.
So many things going on.
And even like relaxing options of just going and like soaking in the hot tub and sitting by the pool and reading your book and like ordering a fun cocktail at one of the lounges. Like there's so much other stuff happening that to spend kind of a precious like evening time when a lot is going on hour in that show for me is not. I wouldn't want to.
And the show's an hour, but you have to like get there early, get your seats, and you don't have to. You just, if you want like amazing seats, you have to like get there early and wait for them. So it's kind of a time commitment, and so if
you end up killing like an hour and a half altogether if you're going to the show.
And ding ding ding, the second night, which is Little Mermaid, that's pirate night. People go bonkers for pirate night. I think it's cool. I think I'm definitely like a fan of it.
We've seen it. We've done it.
We've done it. It's
we skipped
wonderful.
It this time.
We didn't do it this time, which is like, I don't know if that's bad, but like we didn't go.
Well, our kid doesn't like fireworks.
Yeah.
Our kid isn't super into pirates. If your kid is into either of those things, that might be a highlight for you.
Yeah, our daughter hates crowds, fireworks, and pirates. So we didn't go this time, but
because everyone packs onto the deck.
We have done it before, and like
show.
if it's your first cruise, definitely check it out.
It's fun. I liked it when we saw it.
If it was something that she was interested in, we would have made it a priority to go. But it's just kind of 3 strikes for that.
But if that second night, if you're going straight from dinner to the show, or vice versa, depending on when your dinner's scheduled, and then you got to run and like change into your pirate stuff because everybody's putting on pirate stuff, and then get up to the deck for the pirate night thing, it's like that's a lot. That's a big evening.
It's a big evening. I will say that even by the time, so we went to dinner, we went to the show, and a lot of people come to dinner and the show dressed up as pirates because they want that you don't even have time. It's like pirate night, and it's sweet. And if you don't bring anything pirate, they give you these like adorable Mickey pirate bandana things that you can wear like in your hair, on your wrist or whatever, or on your neck. Super festive. But I will say that that's a great night to skip the show because there's so much going on the boat, and pirate night happens like right after the show. So if you're looking to spend more time doing other things, or like even just literally enjoy your vacation, like after dinner, like
it'll make it easier to get a good spot up on the deck and then just hang out there until it starts, and then like you're already in the spot. That would be the way I would play it.
I would
if
recommend
we wanted
that.
To do pirate
If we went into the cruise like bringing any pirate festive clothing and that was important, I would, regardless of what show it was,
Unless it was Aladdin. You got to see Aladdin.
You have to see Aladdin, that's true. But if you had that extra time between dinner and pirate night, it would feel like a lot more relaxing evening. Because again, it just depends what you're trying to do. If you're trying to like get some rest and relaxation, or if you're trying to do it all, it just kind of depends on what you want. But if you're looking for more rest, or your family needs more rest, or dad gets grumpy if he's up for too many hours and needs some rest, then not you, just like other dads. And so I think that's a great night to skip the show and really focus on like just taking some downtime between dinner and pirate night. I think pirate night you can't miss, even though we missed it. Like I think most kids would like pirate night.
If we hadn't done it before, we wouldn't have missed it.
That's true.
Which is what I'm saying about this Little Mermaid show. Yeah. It's like we did it once. We know now that it's not like our favorite part of the cruise, so I'd rather fill that time with other things. And I think if there's like an arc of this video, if you're doing a 3-night cruise, you will not have time.
You don't have time to do everything. And I think that's why we're saying like pass or like make sure you do it, is because you just actually can't do everything. Yeah. And so it depending on like your goal of the trip, if your goal is to like see as much as possible, then probably don't go to dinner and a show every night, because you actually won't have time to do like everything once.
That's perfect. It brings us to my final point, because room service is one of our daughter's favorite things about the cruise.
So good.
So what kid doesn't love the idea of like you're in your hotel room and you pick up the phone and you tell someone what you want food wise, and like the options are pretty limitless.
Yeah.
And then they bring it to your door and it's included on the cruise. You have the option to tip, which we do because like they're bringing us all this food
because
for free, and it's somebody has to do it. But it's like a big menu full of a bunch of fun stuff, a lot of stuff that you can get in the buffet or other places in the ship, but they'll make it and bring it to your room for you. Yeah. And literally 24 hours a day until the last night. They close the last night.
They close at like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
So you can't have room service like the last like 7 or 8 hours of the cruise. But
how clutch would it be if you're like, we're going to skip dinner tonight so that we can do this other thing, and we just want to like chill in our room for a while and have dinner here and not even fuss with like going and finding a spot that's open while we're not at the dinner we're supposed to be at.
Yeah.
Literally just room service it to your room, and it's like right there. And we get a kick out of it every time we room service. We do it on every cruise.
And that time, I completely recommend this, because if you're looking for the time to like go to the pool or go to the hot tub or like rest, like put your kids in kids club, go to, and which they're gonna have a great time, and there's like tons of stuff to do.
Oceaneers Club is a blast.
Put your kids in the kids club, and then you can go to like the adults only deck, take your bathing suit, take your book, relax, and then that's like, if you're there when everybody else is at dinner, A, it's going to be so much less people, and then B, you're not going to be starving. When you're done relaxing, go get your kids, go to the room, order a room service, and then go see a show, go see a movie, go do trivia night, go draw something, like then go do an activity, and think about how relaxed you'll be.
Yeah. Well, plus
there's not only room service, but
there's like
that's my idea.
The Festival of Foods area is open during dinner time too, so you can get tacos or burgers or pizza.
That's
like
true.
Made to order right there.
But you can always do room service, no matter what. And then there's also other food on the boat besides the dinners. Yeah.
And the dinners are amazing, and the menus are good. 1923. Best food, like we said. Like, don't miss that one for eating purposes. Arrendale, we loved the food. Marvel, we loved the food.
Arrendale was very unique. I would say it has like IKEA food court vibes. It's very like
Swedish.
It's very Swedish. There's like Norwegian influence in it, and so the kids will still like it. Like if you get the kids meal, they can get like chicken tenders or burgers or whatever.
I think the Marvel one was the least like interesting menu because Marvel is set like in current
Well, that's
New
true.
York.
So I will say with Arrendale, there's an element like if your kid loves Frozen, or if they just, even if they don't love Frozen, there's like kind of a theme to it because it's all very like Norwegian and Swedish, still very kid friendly, don't get me wrong. But like for the adults especially, there's a little bit more like Norwegian influence and like the lingonberry sauces, and it's pretty cute. But for the Marvel one, their take on it is very present day, and they tried to have like influence of things from like all over the world. So it was kind of like a mini Cheesecake Factory experience because they had like a little bit of everything, but none of it was very like specific either. And so it reached everybody because you could get like so many different types of food there, but it wasn't like specifically as crafted as the Arrendale, which is nice to know too. If you're going to dinner and you like hate Swedish food, then like maybe skip that night.
Well, and I would say like the Marvel food being as good as it was, I don't prefer the menu at that restaurant to eating at Marceline's Market or the Festival of Foods area.
I don't remember what I got. That's the
per
night
se.
I wasn't feeling well. I don't even remember that night.
It's great, but so is the buffet and so is the Festival of Foods. And the room service stuff you get is basically the same as the Festival of Foods and Marceline Market. And so like if there's a night that I would like be willing to be like, we're not going to sit down and have that special dinner, menu-wise, it would be that one.
I would say, menu-wise, I think Marvel...
But if your kid's obsessed with Marvel, the food's just as good, like I said, if you turn that the other way.
The food was not bad, don't get me wrong. The food was amazing. But when you're trying to do it all, you have to make sacrifices. You just don't have enough time. I think a 7-night cruise is perfect because then you can do each restaurant one time.
Which we haven't done yet. We need to do a 7-night cruise. I know. Because then it takes a lot of the pressure out.
There's a lot of pressure. Like us, there's like a lot of pressure for a 3-night cruise. And so you really want to prioritize because if you aren't like strategic and you're just kind of like going with the flow, then
you might feel like you missed a lot of things.
You're gonna feel like you missed a lot at the end. You're gonna have like really bad FOMO because you're gonna be like, I feel like I had a great time, but like, wait, how did everybody get to do so many things?
Maybe you're immune to FOMO and you had the best time. I don't know.
I don't know.
For us, because we like to feel like we did all the things and our time is like precious while we're there because we've paid a lot to be there. For these cruises, we live in LA. We're traveling to Florida to get on the boat. Like, it's a bigger deal.
And it's fun. Like everything's fun. But
and the bigger your group, the more opinions there are about what to do. So like when it's just the 3 of us to consider, it's not that complicated. We'd have just one kid. If you have several kids, it gets more complicated. If like us, you go with extended family, Celeste's sister and her family came, so there's 2 more kids and 2 more adults who all have opinions of things they want to do. It might sometimes feel like a scramble because there's like a lot of options and varying opinions and not everyone's decisive about where they want to go. So being able to like decisively just like pick the thing that sounds best and go for it.
And it's okay to split up. Like I think that like we did we've been on 2 cruises with them now. We went on our 2nd cruise and this past 3rd cruise with them. And the 2nd time we felt very like we came together, we're sitting together at dinner, our rooms are next to it. Like we felt like we had to do everything with them.
There were times it was constricting.
And there were times that like I could tell there was 7 of us and we could tell like there was definitely some people that didn't want to be doing the thing that we were going to be doing, which is a bummer because you think like, oh, I want to be like traveling with them, but then you think about it and it's like everybody's individual vacation also. So this time we just like kind of without even talking about it agreed like we didn't do everything together. We went to dinner together every single night and that was such a good idea because we all dressed up and it felt really special and we all like talked and there was a different experience every night and we all went to the show afterwards together. And other than that, we didn't feel like pressure to do anything together throughout the day. Don't get me wrong, like we saw
there was a lot we did together, but there was no like we have to do everything together.
Or they were very much like, okay, like we're gonna go and do this and it's like, okay, see you later. Like it felt a lot less pressure and I think that's even a great, like, I think I'm like a dinner advocate because it's a great way to have to see your party while on vacation with your party without having to do everything with your party.
And dinner is as much a thing to do as any of the other activities.
So I mean, I think
it's stimulating.
If you're on a 3-night cruise, you have to go to all 3 dinners unless you are like exhausted and you just want to read your book and like lay down. Then I get skipping. But if you're going and it's your first time, I think
do it all as much as you can.
Just do everything. But dinners are really special, especially if you're traveling with other parties, because then you can all see each other at dinner. Have dinner together.
Anyway, we've gotten a little far away from our original intent of just keeping this about what do the 9-ish-year-olds want to do.
Oh yeah, sorry.
But hopefully this is important and helpful if that's why you're watching. So we talked about everything I had on my list. Anything else that like needs to be said, specifically if you're cruising with a big kid or big kids, things not to miss?
Aquamouse, movie theaters, Hero Lounge, dinner,
shows.
We didn't talk about Bippity Boppity Boutique, but I feel like they're at the age...
I think that's kind of more little kid than it is big kid at this point.
I'm gonna cry.
Which our daughter would be excited to do it at 9, but not like she was when she was 7.
At 7, like, that would have ruined the whole vacation if she didn't
Like,
go.
ages 3 to like 7
Like
or 8.
Yeah, probably like ages 3 to 8.
Try to book a Bippity Boppity appointment.
Yeah.
And they do some that are actually great. When she was littler, we would have them do, I forget which princess it was, but they did like a tight
Cinderella.
bun. They did a tight bun on top of her head, and she has so much hair. And if we did it on day 1, it was perfect because they like really gel it and use a net and a strong tie, and then it kept her hair in a tight bun the entire cruise.
We did
so
that
getting
for
in and
both
out of
cruises.
water, it was like...
We did it on the first cruise kind of accidentally. Like, we didn't even really do it on purpose. It was just like something we booked, and it ended up being the first day, and we ended up going, and it was right before dinner. And she had the most beautiful hair for dinner, which was like
and then
so
for the
freaking
whole
cute.
Cruise.
But then for the whole cruise, she was like in and out of the water, and her hair was just in this like tight fisted bun.
Yeah.
And when we got home from the vacation, it was like we had to like take it out.
It was still in the bun.
It was still in the bun, but it was amazing. I highly recommend. So we did it again for the second cruise on purpose because it worked out so well. But this time
we could only book for the last night, which by the time we got there,
it was all booked. So by the time she could only do it after dinner the third night when we went on this past cruise. It was just totally like booked the experience. And so that was the night I wasn't feeling well. And so even like going to dinner, she didn't even decide until like a couple hours before. Like when we were walking to the dinner, she was like, actually was kind of sad. She was like, I wish my hair was getting done like right now. And so we ended up canceling it, which was so sad because I feel like it was my last bippity for her, but
it doesn't have to be.
Doesn't
She'll
have
do
to
one.
be. Yeah.
Okay, the last thing I'll say is for our kid and for the other kids I know who are my kid's age, her favorite thing to do on the boat that you can do all the time, anytime, is literally as simple as just going and getting soft serve.
Oh, how is that the first thing we said? Literally,
I think
number one thing.
we've mentioned soft serve, but...
Oh, I don't think we need to do a whole talk
video on
about soft serve.
The soft serve...
We should.
Is consistently available until pretty late at night.
I think 9:30 or 10. In between 9:30
it's on the food and pool deck, right where the Festival of Foods is.
Yeah.
It's just one of the stalls.
Deck
and
11.
They fill it for you, which is fine. You can get as many as you want, as often as you want. They almost always have chocolate and vanilla and swirl.
Yummy.
But then throughout the cruise, they also work in other flavors. So there's banana, there was strawberry, there was blueberry. What else?
Yeah, what was it? Okay, so I don't know if this is how it is every Wish cruise. I don't know if there's like they have their own schedule. Day 1, it was chocolate and vanilla.
Yep.
Gotta ease your way in.
Day 2, they spruced in banana. Yeah, because that was when we did Aquamouse.
Was it strawberry banana or was it strawberry mango?
I think it was strawberry and... No, mango and banana were the... Because then they did strawberry and blueberry another night. Anyways, they had banana, mango, strawberry, and blueberry.
Jake's right. I had to really think about it because this was a very serious part of the cruise. So chocolate vanilla the first day.
Yeah.
The second day it was strawberry and banana.
Yeah.
But you could do strawberry banana swirl or chocolate vanilla swirl. So strawberry, banana swirl. And then the third day it was mango and blueberry. And the blueberry...
Tastes like a blueberry muffin in like the best way.
It's phenomenal. Like,
so
it's
good.
a myth. Like, some people don't even believe that it's real. Yeah. It's real. It's so good.
Which we weren't even obsessed with soft serve in general until we started doing Disney cruises.
That's true.
It's like...
Well, I mean, we love soft serve, but we
enjoyed it, but we weren't like looking for it all the time.
Yeah, we didn't have
now,
this problem
as a treat at home, we like try to find places that have soft serve. Or now in Disneyland, if we're at California Adventure, we go to Cozy Cone every time because we want Disney soft serve.
And there was a really great place at Epcot we went to. I kind of forget the name of it, but it was the soft serve booth, like right before you hit the water. Yep. That place. And it had a waffle cone.
Mm-hmm. It was phenomenal.
We're obsessed with Disney soft serve.
They had orange cream at that one too. Anyways, so soft serve, if you want to make your 8 to 12-year-old happy, and probably anyone on the cruise. This is probably an ageless thing, because for me, it's one of my favorite parts of the cruise.
Timeless.
The soft serve is like the move. If we had an extra few minutes and it was like, what should we do for this time? If I looked at Lila and I was like, let's go grab a soft serve, the way her face would light up and the way we would have like some of our most fun moments was just like running to get soft serve and eating it on our way to wherever we're going next. It's
my nephew
magic.
is 9. He's the same age as Lila, and he got to go from their stateroom all the way, so like we're on like floor 6, and he got to go from our stateroom in the elevator up to deck 11, go get a soft serve, and then come back
by himself.
And I think he had 2 because he got 2 hands.
Yeah.
And like one for his dad or something. And that was like probably the highlight of his trip.
Probably.
Was going by himself to go get soft serve. Like the combination of independence and safety that came around with it. And like he wasn't scared to do, like it was a scary thing, but he just never had that kind of independence before.
It's a very safe place to do that kind of thing.
It was a safe place to test it out. And then going and getting soft serve. If you have an older kid, like that is probably the coolest thing that they can do by themselves.
Something we meant to do and didn't do, but we'll do for the next cruise, is put some kind of like a poster in our room that has names, and we'll have a dry erase marker so we can tally it.
They do that in the kids club, or was that for soda?
That was for soda, I think.
Oh,
but
so cute.
We're gonna have like a tally and see who eats the most soft serve along the course of the cruise.
And I have a diet tip. If you are looking to participate in family soft serve, but you want to like take some of the calorie out, is I just don't eat the cone. I love the cone. If you were giving me, like when we go to Disneyland and I'm getting a cozy cone,
I have a diet tip.
I eat the cone.
Eat the cone.
But I do think it's like a little mom hack, because if you have a little soft, they're not like huge. They're like free and you're getting like 12 a day. A little diet hack is if you don't eat the cone, it's really not that bad.
Yeah, my diet hack is to like diet before the cruise and then go insane on the cruise and then diet after the cruise. And then what happens on the cruise
stays on the cruise.
It's for the cruise.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, anyway.
All right, so soft serve is probably like the number 1 tip.
Yeah, it goes soft serve, Aquamouse.
Great.
Hero Zone.
All kinds of stuff. Yeah. Okay, so that's not even everything. That's just things we've done. If you're on the cruise, there's an itinerary with tons of stuff. You might find your list is different than ours.
There's even like that game.
For the temperament and personality of our kid, this is what we have found.
I have a 9-year-old daughter, and she's very nice.
And in a year or two, it might change a little bit. Yeah. But for now, like if we went on another cruise within the next few months, this would be like our plan of attack.
Dinner, show, soft serve.
More shows.
More soft serve.
More soft serve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I honestly love, like whatever I said, I love the dinner and shows. And I think part of it is that we have only done 3-night cruises. Yep. I think the truth is if we do a 7-night cruise or longer, we will probably only do the dinners once each. But
Except for 1923, we'll go both times.
Yeah, for sure. But I do think that if you are just not dinner people, then...
Which is fine.
That's fine. Then just, know
people.
your options.
All right. So we're going to have more of these. One of them, we're going to talk about what, like, adult couples can do for the most fun, because that's a totally different category than stuff we talked about in this video. We're also going to do a video about Castaway Cay, or Castaway Key, however you're supposed to say it. And that one is going to be, like... from the perspective like this of what we did as a family, because that was a family day for us. We didn't use the childcare there. It was like...
And they have childcare there, which I wanted to go... Video. Oh, sorry.
Anyway, we're going to do video about that and probably a few more. So let us know if you like this format of us talking through what we did and what we like and what we don't like.
Or if you have any questions.
Yeah. And she'll answer them. I won't. All right.
Yes, you will.
Maybe. We'll see. Depends how you ask. All right.
You have to say, Jake.
Maybe. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one.